So there's been a lot of talk about Jose Mourinho and Manchester United these past few weeks. We're only 3 games into the brand new season and already there's a lot of drama surrounding Old Trafford, and of course the 55-year-old is at the centre of it all. As he usually is, that is. And with that being said, it's time to review the situation in its entirety and predict the future of one of the most successful managers of recent times and one of the most successful teams in the world. First of all, on this analysis, we have his third season syndrome. Before a ball was even kicked, many fans would often debate about United's season. They would often point out the fact that this is Jose's third season in charge. His first spell at Chelsea lasted just under 3.5 years. His reign at Inter Milan was 2 years, with him jumping ship straight away to Real Madrid after leading the Italian side to a historic treble-winning season. But it was at Madrid the third-year curse well and truly began. In his third and final year with the Spanish Giants, Mourinho only went on to win the Spanish version of the Community Shield. That season is the equivalent to David Moyes' one and only season in charge of Manchester United. It was a very disappointing season for the Portuguese manager, who came out and admitted himself that it was probably the worst season of his managerial career to date. Then Mourinho took over Chelsea and in his second season found success by winning the League Cup and the Premier League title itself. But several months later, he was sacked from his position as Blues manager after an extremely disappointing season, which was again the third season in charge. And now fast forward to the present day, this is his third season in charge of the Red Devils, and right now eyebrows are being raised and many supporters are beginning to worry over the future of their club. To use the third season syndrome as an argument seems very stupid at this early stage in the new season, but it could be what transpires more and more as we go on. Of course, this new season it is 3 games old, but Man United have already dropped 6 points, losing 2 games out of 3, winning their opening game against Leicester. But even when they did defeat Leicester on the opening day, the performances wasn't great, and many are fearing that if things don't pick up soon, a repeat of Mourinho's third seasons at both Chelsea and Real Madrid could be on the cards. The second point is not so much to blame on Mourinho, it's more about the players, but Mourinho still takes part of the blame here. As previously stated, United's performances this season haven't been up to the standard usually associated with Manchester United. It's a team and a squad that on paper is full of quality and has the potential to continue to grow and get even better, which can be scary. But right now the players are looking uninterested or scared, and they seem to all be in shackles and not free to express themselves. They all seem scared to make a mistake, and it's leading to frustration, and their frustration is being taken advantage of by the opposition. The likes of Paul Pogba, who's still showing signs of inconsistency, Romelu Lukaku, who's in the same boat as Pogba, and Alexis Sanchez, who's yet to show any sign of rediscovering the form he had once shown at Arsenal over the past few years, and even the drop of performances in defence, and even more surprisingly, the drop of performance of David De Gea, the United goalkeeper, who's been United's Superman over the years, who's saved them plenty of points, and also been a star man in their seasons gone by. At Arsenal over the past few years, Arsene Wenger was blamed for poor management and tactics, especially in big games, and the players were also blamed for not turning up. Is anyone seeing any parallels here between these two clubs, should things continue, that is? Speaking of United's defence, they're our next point. United's defence last season was the second best in the Premier League. They only conceded 28 goals throughout the campaign, 1 more goal conceded than their fierce rivals Manchester City, who of course went on to win the title. However, already this season United have conceded 7 goals, and in the summer they were linked with pretty much every centre-back put on God's green earth. And I in particular found it strange that a team with a good defensive record were attempting to strengthen an area which seems strong and not strengthening in areas like midfield, where they could have really done with some creativity, or in attacking positions further up. However, no centre-backs were signed, and already this season they've already conceded 7 goals because of their defence, which looks sloppy, it looks shaky, it looks nervous, and Tottenham took advantage of that and thumped 3 past them. My question is, what happens if things continue this way, and what happens when they come across a team like a Manchester City or a Liverpool who have an attack of sheer quality? They are most likely to get humiliated, that is if things continue the way they are. But why is this Mourinho's fault? Well, in the 2 and a bit years he's been there, he doesn't know his best centre-back pairing, or even his best starting 11 for that matter. His constant chopping and changing certainly isn't helping the team or results. Fourth on the agenda is the constant negativity. Okay, I'm not a United fan, as you probably all know. I'm a Liverpool fan. Really trying to be as unbiased as I can here, and so far I think I'm doing a pretty good job. But this video adds to an element at this point, and that's the constant media attention around United, whether it's mainstream media or social media. Right now, there's not much going on within the Premier League besides matches and constant speculation and predictions over how the season may pan out or whatever. So everyone is getting their teeth stuck into this whole situation surrounding both United and Mourinho. And yes, the majority of it is all negative. And that's surely not helping the team at all. But what's also not helping is how Mourinho is coming across in the press conferences that he does. Anyone who plays Football Manager will tell you the things you say in press conferences and the way you say things can affect players. Yeah, it may be a game, but to hell with it. Go along with it. And right now, Mourinho's coming off as a frustrated, annoyed and fed up figure in all his recent press conferences. This even dates back to the beginning of pre-season. His constant moaning about other teams' transfer activity or other teams' fixture lists was a constant highlight throughout the summer, other than the World Cup, of course. Because love him or hate him, he's very entertaining, even if it isn't for all the right reasons. He's been fighting back against the media and seems to be getting more and more irate with every press conference, demanding respect when he doesn't really give much back himself. In his latest press conference, he pointed out that he had won 3 Premier League titles, more than any other manager who's currently managing in the Premier League today, which, yes, is very true. But he won them whilst managing Chelsea, a rival to Manchester United. So to a United fan, they may not care that much as to why he's won them. But all this is creating a whirlwind of negativity around Old Trafford. The fifth point is man management. The Manchester United board appointed Jose Mourinho with the sole purpose in mind of instantly fixing the problems both David Moyes and Louis van Gaal left behind. Mourinho's short stay at previous clubs signalled that he's not going to be there for the long term and is only interested in succeeding in the here and now rather than several years down the line. The thing is, right now the squad he has is mainly full of players who haven't quite hit their potential yet. The squad he's got is either young and hasn't hit their peak yet, or their older players are over the hill and past their best. There's not really a balance that he had at Chelsea during his first reign in charge, and no one's truly close to being the finished article of a player or not to the quality of standard he had when he was at Real Madrid. So where was the spending spree to bring him these kinds of players? Well, if certain reports are to be believed, there's been conflict and debate behind the scenes over Mourinho's shopping list in comparison to Ed Woodward's. Allegedly, there was disagreement over certain players. Mourinho was looking at players to improve the squad, whilst Woodward was wanting players for the commercial benefit, which is a clear indication football and the club is no longer about the fans and supporters. It's now a money-making machine. It just goes to show Mourinho isn't entirely to blame here, and this club has deeper problems than that go beyond the players and people you see every week. But the question still has to be asked of Mourinho. If you're not going to be supported by the board to the extent you'd like, hence your frustration over the lack of signings this summer, why did you sign a contract extension earlier this year? In the past, if United wanted a player, they got that player. No messing around. They were straight in there and got their man. Okay, maybe the prices of players wasn't as insane as what it is right now, but the method of how they went about their business probably still is the same, or probably still would be the same if Sir Alex Ferguson was still in charge today. So you have to ask, what has changed behind the scenes? The board have come out and maintained their strong support behind Mourinho, despite the Tottenham result on Monday, but if things continue to spiral like this, it will be interesting to see if their stance changes over the next few weeks. And let's say that by Christmas, Mourinho does his usual walking act. Who replaces him? Zinedine Zidane seems to be the man many are suggesting could take over from him, but other names suggested have been Allegri and even Antonio Conte, which will be very interesting. But for me, if United are in search of a new manager by Christmas, then surely, there's only one man for the job, and I am of course talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Sam Allardyce. Only joking, United fans. I mean, I'm all for the never say never kind of thing, but this would never happen, no matter how funny or incredible it would be. So yeah, it may be too early to say, but so far there are worrying signs for United, and as stated, he's not the only problem. The players and the board have to take blame and responsibility as well, and I will defend him in the way that he's the front man, so all the blame will be directed towards him. And I will say that this whole situation has a similar feel to parts of the Arsene Wenger saga of the past several years at Arsenal. But either way, it will be interesting to see what transpires next in this entertaining story of Jose Mourinho and Manchester United. Guys, speak to me in the comments section below. What do you make of any of the points I've made? And what do you make of this whole saga? What would you like to see happen? Are you behind Mourinho? Do you think players are to blame? I'd love to read all your comments down below. Otherwise, hit that like button on the way out if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new or want to see any more content like this on the channel. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I'll speak with you again in the next video.